Hey, Curvies, thanks for coming through. Thanks for being you. I appreciate y'all being here. You know what? My argument is hey, thanks for coming through, boo. Yes, I be doing my dance in the morning. I swear I love my intro. I put it on repeat. I have it for a 5-minute version where I just have it on a loop for 5 minutes. And I swear I be jamming to that thing. I swear I do. I love music, you guys. They say music and math are the universal languages, right? So yes, I do love my music. You guys, my argument is, I'm glad that you're the first one in the house because I'm about to say my argument is that actions speak louder than words. That's the whole thing with this Real Housewives of the Titanic, also known as Atlanta, is going. That hey, they did it. I'm just saying my point of view. By the way, everything I say on LRGA Curves is allegedly for entertainment purposes, my opinion and speculation. So yeah, everything that I'm about to say in this video, okay? Go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for being here today. Now, you can see from the title of this video that we are going to be talking about what everybody's talking about, which is vindication. Who's at fault? Who's to blame? And who did what worse? Okay, and I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts. So we saw in Real Housewives of Atlanta on Sunday the lead up to the revenge porn incident, alleged revenge porn incident. I already told you guys everything I say is alleged, so I hope I don't have to keep on saying alleged everything. But yes, everything is alleged. But we did look up the definition of what revenge porn is in Georgia. And according to the statute, what Kenya did was allegedly revenge porn. And that's why I'm looking at the actions that spoke louder than words, because all Brit did was pop off. Okay? The only thing Brit did was pop off and say she has a pow pow and whips for bitches like you. Okay? She didn't say bitches like you, Kenya. She didn't brandish a weapon. She at no time ran to the trunk of her car. She at no time went towards Kenya specifically while saying these things. As a matter of fact, Brit was walking that way and Kenya was walking that way while Brit's talking out the side. I got a pow pow and whips for bitches like you, because she sounds like something's very wrong with her nose. Anyway, so when I was growing up, which has been a long time, thank you, God. Hope you guys woke up thanking God for your breath this morning. But when I woke up, when I was growing up, we used to have this saying called actions speak louder than words, right? Now, as a kid, we were taught that doing things is worse than saying things, right? And there is this thing in America called freedom of speech. Imagine that. Imagine that you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want to say in America. And that's allowed under the freedom of speech, pretty much, well, almost. But it's when you do an action that becomes a problem. Okay? You can say all the things you want to say, but doing actions is what the problem is. And then I was looking at and considering even Kenya Moore's point that she feared for something. She's like, I don't know the girl like that. And, it was the first time I had a daughter and been threatened like this. And I call bullshit. She actively chose to participate in a crime. So let's get into it. Let me make this smaller. Let's make this bigger. So Kenya is trying to make herself a victim. She's been the villain victim since she got on the show. And she prides herself in being the longest standing RHOA member. Okay, yeah, the leftovers, you can be the longest standing leftover. You can. It doesn't make you the greatest, but you definitely are a leftover member of the originals people, and you got to stick in there the longest for some reason. Okay? And so Kenya says, being the longest standing Real Housewives of Atlanta member, and being, where's my eyeglass cleaner? I just had, look at this. Sorry, you guys. Being threatened with whips and pistols by a newcomer 3 weeks into filming. Seeing this obsession play out is scary. I wanted protection and assurances that the threats would be taken seriously. I may be strong, but I'm not bulletproof. Kenya Moore tweeted that. I think it's a response to what Candace said. Candace said, they always want to try and humble you when you're smarter than them and their show ponies. Kenya deserves better. That's all I'm going to say about it. And then Kenya added, it's so painful to see my storyline being told by someone else. With that said, I really appreciate Kelly for being so kind and supportive of me. She also said, somebody says, I think it starts at the bottom and then goes up, right? So this lady says, I wonder if at Bravo TV is going to edit it out to make it look bad and Brit look like the victim. They're good for that. Kenya said, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not bulletproof. Praying the world sees that I was provoked to the actions I took. Okay, so again, we're looking at action speaking louder than words. Ha ha ha, right on, right on. Yeah, I was just saying that my argument is that actions speak louder than words. You know, I love your handle though. And then somebody else says, pop culture replied, Kenya, we are dying exactly. We have absolutely no context. And then Kenya says, babe, there is no context missing. No other interaction. No prior meetings. No gossip. Nothing. Obsession is an understatement. Her obsession with Kenya needs to be studied. Okay? So that's what that says. And so this is all Kenya's reaction, right? But you know what? Leave it to the fucking interwebs. Because Kenya
supposedly waved the white flag. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. And because she weighs 200 pounds or more, we all know that's only about an inch. You know what? Do I need to pack some heat? You got a piece of steel in there? You know, because if things get out of hand, do you have? I might just have to bring out my firearm. Oh, that's.
You guys, so she was saying this about Phaedra. Hey, Grand Rising, Mamera, thanks for coming through. So I just showed you how victim, I'm not sure what that was. I just showed you how Kenya's trying to play victim. And, oh, poor me, I was provoked into this action and I'm a long-standing member and I need assurances. I need assurances that the gun she never showed was going to be used. I need assurances that they were going to take the threat seriously. However, Kenya is a fakey McFuckerson, okay? Because Kenya actually was the first housewife on the Real Housewives of the Titanic to threaten somebody with a firearm. But when Kenya did it, she actually showed a firearm. Brit didn't show a firearm. Let's continue with the evidence that Kenya Moore did revenge porn just to be doing it. She had no vindication because she's also done what Brit has said, but didn't go the extra step of brandishing a weapon. Let's keep on listening to the BS play out. Kenya's not a victim, you guys. Ken Moore is not a victim. She remains the villain. Come on, play. Are you responding? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I just had a like freaking thingamabob happen. Let's see. Well, I try to figure that out. Grand Rising. Thanks for coming through. I couldn't stand not wearing this yellow today. I love yellow. Let me see what the X is going. Oh, it's telling me it's not fucking responding. My Mozilla has been tripping lately. But then again, solar flares, the eclipse, Mercury retrograde, pick one. Satra Del Rey, no way. Oh my gosh. Thanks for coming through. It's been so long. It's been far too long. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I have to flip it. Have no idea why you wouldn't be responding. Just a second, you guys. What the fuck? You're not even doing anything major. Dude, I don't know what's going on. These freaking spinny shits. I don't want to have to open everything all over again. Is this Instagram or YouTube? I'm in YouTube, but I was looking at Instagram and everything is spinning. Yeah. Kenya's such a fucking hypocrite, right, Mamere? She's been really playing the victim for all these months. And the 8th housewife has footage that she was the first one to pull a gun on somebody on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, on a longer standing member of the show than her, because Phaedra came on the show. Did Phaedra come on the show before Kenya or after Kenya? Or was it the same time? Somebody put it in the comments. But anyway, she's trying to act like tenure is a reason to not brandish a weapon against her. Just don't brandish weapons. Just don't make threats. Okay? It still is not fucking responding. I'm closing it. Fraudra and Kenya. Fraudra was year 3, Kenya year 5. Thank you. So Kenya at the time came in so hot on Phaedra, the way that Brit came in hot on her. She's calling Brit obsessed for coming after her. I thought that's what you do with other people on the show, is you go after their ankles, right? But now when it happens to Kenya, the perpetual villain victim, now it's she's obsessed. No, bitch, she's just a new housewife coming for some ankles on the big dog, okay? That's all that's happening. Let me try to get this back up. Oh, I really hate that that happened. Is it still not fucking responding? This shit is crazy. It's really crazy. I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of swears this morning. I'm really gonna try to curb my swears. Let's see. Here it comes. Thinking about coming back up. Now my Instagram is spinning. I really need you to finish seeing this clip though. Thank you, God. Can the people finish seeing it now? God is so great. Yahusha, Sky Daddy. Thank you. I love Sky Daddy. I love Sky Daddy. Okay, so I don't know if it was because I had my flippy thing flipped or what. So now we're going to look at it again. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, we are using this for research on how not to be a villain victim.
We all know that's only about an inch. You know what?
So like I said, she's talking about Phaedra. Let's see if it can come in talking, because it starts very soon.
I'm over it. Even though Phaedra and I have supposedly waved the white flag, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. And because she weighs 200 pounds or more, we all know that's only about an inch. You know what? Do I need to pack some heat? You got a piece of steel in there? You know, because if things get out of hand, what do you have here? I might just have to bring out my firearm. Oh, that's not you. I love you. I'm over it. Phaedra and I far as I can throw her. And because she weighs 200 pounds or more, we all know that's only about an inch. Fuck you. I love you. Didn't know you had that kind of in the closet. Now, if a donkey is feeling froggy and they want to leave, they can leave all the way to the emergency room. Because they just got shot in the hands. I want to win a taser gun or a real gun. Fuck you. Oh my God. Hold on for a second. All right. No, we're not done. We're not done. We're still touching this moment. Okay. It's a lie. Let me find my husband first. I have so many things though. This is a lot. I mean, I still got my pistol, so I'm good at this. Girl, Kenny's here. Okay, can I put this in the car? What are you doing? I don't know. I was almost like, I knew I should have just read. Okay, thank you. You ready? Yeah. I just want to put this down. You ready? Somebody find my husband. Where you at, baby? Can I put mine here? I don't think my car is here. You know? Okay, well, you want to get in? Yeah. Okay, baby, I'm ready. I gotta let that bitch know. Don't play with me, bitch. Everything's fine. Everything's full. Everything's good. Kenya, hello, ditzy ass. Like, bitch, play that shit in front of the cameras. Don't play that with me. I don't play. Oh my God.
Okay. So what are you guys' feelings after seeing this? So now after hearing that.
Even though Phaedra and I have supposedly waved the white flag, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. And because she weighs 200 pounds or more, we all know that's only about an inch.
Yeah, well, Satra, what we missed is the fact that Kenya's also threatened people with a pow-pow, but she actually brandished a weapon when she threatened the person with the pow-pow. Brit has not done that. Let's see if this will play again for us.
You know what? Do I need to pack some heat? You got a piece of steel in there? You know, because
Right on, Mamir. Thank you.
I might just have to bring out my firearm. Oh, that's not you. I love you. I'm over it. Even though Phaedra and I have...
Okay, so let's get to some of these comments. Look, Brit mentioned a weapon. I didn't hear her threaten to use the weapon against Ken. Thank you, my argument is. That's exactly what I'm saying. She never mentioned her name. She never went towards that way. She didn't even put her fingers like this or nothing. She went this way talking shit and Ken went that way getting in cars, right? So Ken is acting so scared when she also uses pow-pows. Remember, she ran the freaking robbers off with a pow-pow from her house, remember? So I don't know how she's pretending that she's so scared and vulnerable when she prides herself on being a gun-toting, Second Amendment enthusiast. But she needs assurances that nobody else is a Second Amendment enthusiast. But we didn't show, nobody else showed a weapon, but you trying to be cute. Let's look at it again, because I want this to go freaking viral, because Ken is a freaking problem. What she did not warrant, her reaction was way too much over the top, and we're going to get into that too. But let's look again at Ken do exactly what she's complaining about. Yes, I have to have grace for Ken because she was rejected by her mom, and that has to be messy girl up emotionally. Yeah, but damn, Kenya makes it hard. Yeah, she makes it effing hard. I can't defend anything she does ever. Yeah, right? There's another video, some people must have trespassed. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And she totally had the gun then, but now nobody else can have a gun in Atlanta but her. I don't know, Brit, but Brit was over the top. Did we miss something? We missed the fact that Kenya did it first and worse. I have to say how much I love your lives. They're so fun, informative. I really get excited. Oh, right on. I appreciate you. And I love when you're here, Mamir. You know I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming through. My argument is that's the whole reason why I've never liked Ken. She can do things in the moment, and then she gets a taste of her own medicine. It's a problem. Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna let this, I'm gonna go to the second part so we could actually just see the pow pow.
Didn't know you had that kind of in the closet. Now, if a donkey is feeling froggy and they want to leave, they can leave all the way to the emergency room.
Okay, so that thing, let's ponder that. Okay, and Satra Del Rey, you haven't been in the chat for a minute, but we have been talking about that here on LRGA Curves. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. So if Kenya is afraid, why does she do revenge porn? That's what we're saying. So if I'm literally in fear of my life, I'm not going to do anything to further promote, provoke, antagonize, instigate interaction with said person, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. Because if I'm already scared, I'm going over there and you're going over there. I'm calling the authorities from over there, and I'm not going to do anything to further antagonize you because I'm so scared. And I have no idea what you're going to do. Oh my God. I'm racked with fear, right? But it doesn't match that Ken would pretend to be, oh my God, I had to go to HR and make assurances and da 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 da. The whole time taking weeks to plot revenge porn, which at any time had she gotten out of her emotions and into her mental acumen, she would have figured out, oh, maybe I should Google this shit and see if this is legal or not. Because Brit is not giving me explicit consent to share this peen by her forehead. Brit Edie did not give me that consent. And even if the penis gave Ken permission to use that picture, if Brit didn't also give consent, then it's revenge porn, clear and simple. Revenge porn, clear and simple. I don't understand why everybody's like, what? Okay? If she was afraid for her life, why would she provoke her aggressor further? Oh, Bonita Howard, thanks for coming through. Yes, happy Tuesday. April Fools, you guys. April Fools. You know, today is actually the start of the Lunar New Year. Today is actually the first of the year in some cultures. Is that all I had for Ken? I had this.
Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've been trying to figure out what's going to happen between Brit and Kenya. You know, Kenya is going to fade out on the show, right? She's getting kicked off. But we thought she did something wild. It turns out that Brit might be the actual villain here. Now, here's how the whole argument started.
To Kenya. Can you speak to Brit kindly and not with an attitude? I didn't write it, I promise.
The answer is yes. I can speak to everyone kindly without an attitude. I think I have.
Yeah, but we're talking about me, sweetheart.
Okay.
What do you mean, why? I have the floor, baby.
Okay, you want a moment. Have your moment.
This is not a moment.
Yeah, it's a big moment.
How? You're having a moment. Do you need to step out?
I am a moment. So I can speak to everyone.
This wasn't about everyone. You want me to read it again?
Kindly.
Would you like for me to read it again?
I'm not going to play these childish games. Peasants cannot come forward, please.
All right, and you know, Kenya is a vet on the show. Brit's a newcomer. Now, previously we looked at. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she apologized for sharing distasteful photos of Brit during her Kenya Moore hair spa opening.
She sent the photos out.
Yeah, so but they were things that were out already. But I guess she brought it up and did that. So people were coming at Kenya, felt like that was inappropriate, right? Mm-hmm. But what we didn't see was what happened on the episode last night. And Brit was definitely threatening Kenya, talking about a gun. Listen to this.
I'll play them games. I have wit, pistols, everything. Play that started on camera. Don't play that with me. Do all that fake Hollywood. No, this is real life. This is real life. This is real.
So now people are singing a different tune. And I want to say, after the fact, Kenya posted, being the long-standing Real Housewives member threatened with whips and pistols by a newcomer 3 weeks into filming. Seeing this obsession play out is scary. I wanted protection and assurances that the threats would be taken seriously. I may be strong, but I'm not bulletproof.
Okay, so she said that, but then we also have this.
I'm over it. Even though Phaedra and I have supposedly waved the white flag, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. And because she weighs 200 pounds or more, we all know that's only about an inch. You know what? Do I need to pack some heat? You got a piece of steel in there? You know, because if things get out of hand, what do you have? I might just have to bring out my firearm. Oh, that's not you. I love you. I'm over it.
Okay, so it's freaking duplicitous. Like, how can you have your cake and eat it too, can you? You can't be a villain and a victim. It's a phenomenon. You can't. You can't. You can't demand that everybody rally around you in fake vindication when you've done the exact same thing. I'm just like gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked. Okay? But you know what else I am? Is I was confused. So what did I do? I went to Aya. You know I love going to Chat GPT and asking Aya, what the fuck am I feeling these things for, right? So last live we did on Monday, which is, and today is Tuesday. So I went live twice already about this stuff. So yesterday we were asking what's worse in Georgia. If somebody threatens to say, I carry a firearm for bitches like you, which is what we heard, my thing keeps blacking out. I'm not sure what the F is going on. Anyway, so we heard her say that, right? And it wasn't a full on, you guys can still hear me, right? And it wasn't a full on. There it is. Yeah, and it wasn't a full on even threat because she didn't say Ken's name. We saw in that clip that Ken specifically was like, oh, this pow pow is for Phaedra. She specifically was like, this is for Phaedra. And then brandished a weapon on television. Did Phaedra go to HR about it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Phaedra wanted to have assurances made that Ken wasn't going to pull out her pow pow and do something to her. I'm not sure. Or is Kenya the only one who gets to do that? Let's keep on going. So basically, revenge porn is an automatic felony. Revenge porn is to post or distribute nude or sexually explicit images without that person's consent, without the depicted person's consent. So if it was Brit Edie's face with the eggplant in her mouth, on her head, on her shoulder, then, and Brit Edie obviously didn't know that shit was about to happen because she's very upset. So today I asked it, is this what I asked it today? Oh yeah. So today I asked it, what is it worse to say something bad or to do something bad? To go along with my actions speak louder than words title, right? So actions are usually worse than words, but there's context too. So it says tangible harm, why actions are usually worse than words. Because one, tangible harm, actions directly affect others in real ways. Two, legal consequences. Kenya should have checked Google. Most laws punish harmful actions more severely than speech. Number three, irreversible. An action is often lasting, whereas words, though hurtful, can be forgiven and retracted. Hello. But there are also 3 times when words can be just as bad or worse. Threats of violence, which can be criminal, but in the case of what specifically Brit Edie said, we ran it through, and that's not a specific enough threat. Especially because you had to have not only intention of following it through, but you needed to have the means to follow it through. So without an actual pow pow in her purse, or even owning a pow pow, that could be why Brit isn't in as much as trouble, right? There's defamation, spreading false information, or you can incite violence, like how if you say fire in the middle of a movie theater, it can have real world consequences if you cause somebody to get trampled, right? So then I'm like, well, what does action speak louder than words even mean? To make sure, because you know I love my etymology over here, you guys, and just to make sure we're even in the right spell cast, because words are spells. That's why you spell them out, duh. So actions speak louder than words means that a person is more that what a person does is more important and revealing than what they say. It emphasizes that people's true intentions, beliefs, and characters are shown through their behavior and actions, not just their words. So some could say that Brit is full of hype. She's just full of hot air. She wasn't even gonna, she just literally wanted a moment. And moments are full of words, right? Ask NECA. They're full of words that don't land, right? So examples of how this could apply is a person constantly says they'll help out their fellow, but they never show up. A leader promises to change things, but takes no action, so they become less trustworthy. Or in relationships, you show love through actions like support, care, and effort, and it means far more than just saying, I love you. Talk is cheap. What you do matters more. So then I asked it, why is it important to control one's reactions rather than just acting out? Because I really wanted to see, like, why should Kenya have taken a pause? Like, I teach my kids, even count to 10, take a breath, walk away, disengage, figure it out, especially during a heightened emotion situation, a heightened emotion situation. Because as we know, emotions can do something that, the cost of keeping it real will have you serving 5 to 10. You know what I'm saying? So you really need to take a moment sometimes and decide if what you're risking is worth the action of your emotional state. You get what I'm saying, Curvies? So controlling your reaction instead of acting out is important because of your response determines the outcome, and it also reflects your self-discipline, emotional intelligence, and character, all of which are highly questionable for old Ken, okay? Ken, all of which are highly questionable for Ken. Let me put this over here like that. Actually, I'll do halvesies. So we'll do this half, and we'll do this half. There. Okay, yeah, like, subscribe, and share. So we're getting back over here to the words of it. So why Kenya particularly was showing lack of self-discipline, lack of emotional intelligence, and lack of character, okay? Because it's important to control your reactions. It prevents regret. It seems like she acted impulsively, but the more I consider what Kenya actually did, it took time to it took time to get the poster board. It took time to get the poster board. It took time to get the videos made. It took time to plan out that soliloquy about what she was going to say when she was calling Brit Edie a whore and saying she charged $1,400 for pictures of her cat on Snapchat. Remember? So that took time and planning. This isn't like an accidental revenge porn thing. This took time and planning to break the fucking law. Okay, unfortunately, she did not make a good decision. She did not maintain power and control. She reacted, when you react emotionally, you give others control over you, saying, instead of staying calm, because now Brit has the control. Brit is in a power position because of Kenya's impulse reaction, right? She's about to get legal consequences. I hope Brit sues the fuck out of her, because if they allow this to be a precedent, we're going to have eggplants planted on people's foreheads all over the freaking franchises, and we don't need that shit. This stuff is already, the people are saying it's going way too dark. It is. It's going dark. When you're putting eggplants on foreheads as a get back, that's too far. Okay? So then I asked it, what about when the reaction took at least 2 weeks to plan and set up, but it was still an illegal action? What does that imply about the person who would plan out a reaction, which was ultimately revenge porn, to a simple, meaningless threat? Because that's what I'm taking it as, especially after seeing she didn't have a weapon. Ken had a weapon, though, when she was threatening Phaedra those years ago. Brit didn't have a weapon. Brit had hot air and nasal congestion. Okay? If someone takes weeks to plan a reaction and still chooses illegal action like revenge porn as retaliation for a meaningless threat, it implies several things about their mindset and character. The first thing it implies is lack of emotional control. Instead of letting the situation go or handling it legally, they harbored resentment and chose revenge over resolution. Also, they let the temporary moment of anger turn into a long-term destructive act. Number 2, premeditation and intent. The fact that they took weeks to plan means that it wasn't an in heat of the moment reaction and was a deliberate decision. Legally, this can make the crime worse because the premeditation effect often leads to harsher penalties because it shows intent rather than impulse. It could have started off an impulse, but then it became clear that her intent was revenge porn, okay? Number 3, it's a disproportionate response to a simple threat. The original threat, even if rude, was just words, while revenge porn is a criminal action with real legal and emotional consequences. This suggests the person struggles with perspective. They escalated the minor incident to a major offense. That sounds like something Ken has done often, right? And then tries to cry victim. Number 4, it's poor judgment and lack of accountability. Instead of taking a legal or ethical route, like reporting the threat, which she says she did, and then let authorities handle it, she chose a self-destructive path when she feels like HR didn't do or assure her the way she needed it to be done. But it also shows her willingness to harm Brit without considering the long-term consequences for her in Brooklyn. Number 5, it shows the potential for future harmful behavior. I hope whatever lawyer Brit gets is going to ChatGPT because this is chock full of it, okay? Anyone who, if someone is willing to meticulously plan out an illegal act over weeks, Kenya, you had to go get poster board. You had to blow up the images. You had to create video. You had to create space at the freaking spa opening for it to happen. You wrote a fucking soliloquy. That's 5 things that go against your, oh, I'm a victim. No, bitch, you're the villain. It suggests that the mindset was revenge, manipulation, and harming rather than justified. Okay? And it also raises concerns with what else is Ken capable of. The act of revenge the act of revenge porn over a meaningless threat indicates the lack of self-control, poor judgment, and a dangerous willingness to break the law for personal retaliation. It's not just a bad decision. It's a calculated one with serious ethical and legal consequences. So then I was like, because we just showed how Angela Yee was even in her recap of it. She's like, oh, well, now it seems after we see what Brit Edie said that Ken is vindicated. No, bitch. So I'm asking, now there seems to be people taking sides of both involved. And some people feel that the simple threat is enough to use revenge porn as retaliation. And some people feel that the action of revenge porn is justified due to the threat. What is this phenomenon? This phenomenon you're describing is a mix of moral disengagement, group polarization, and world bias. Okay? It's an attempt to justify or excuse unethical behavior based on their personal biases and emotional investment in the situation. That's how we get in these freaking franchises, right? Like, I'm a boopy. I'm like, I feel like it was wrong for her to talk about her surgery breasts, but now we're about to get clarification on that too. Maybe there's a way that could have been okay. Okay? So there's moral disengagement. Excusing wrong actions based on justification. This occurs when people try to convince themselves that unethical actions are acceptable Oh, I love you, babe. It's okay. Turn them up so I can hear. This occurs when people convince themselves that the unethical actions are acceptable because they believe the victim deserved it. Okay. In this case, some people believe revenge porn is justified because they view the original threat as provocation. Okay. So they're saying that because Brit said words, she deserved a illegal action. However, legally and ethically, one wrong doesn't justify another. People become extreme in their views when in groups. This is called group polarization. When people pick sides, they tend to reinforce their belief. And this leads to justifying the revenge porn, minimizing the initial threat, instead of acknowledging that both are wrong. Then there's just world bias when people believe you deserve what happens to them. There's emotional reasoning. Some people may side emotionally with the person they like better because their emotions are running high. Logic and ethics are ignored because of loyalty, right? So on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, those freaking Fox 5 colonizers are morally corrupt and they ignore logic and ethics for personal loyalty over there, okay? Revenge culture and eye for an eye thinking. Now, I was asking it ultimately, what does that make Kenya? What does it make Kenya? What does it make Kenya? Oh, that was a movie? I have to play it. I love you, baby.
You want some cold water?
Oh, yeah, cold water, right on. I'll take a sip. Ice cold. I have my ionized water right here on my copper thing.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, come right there. Don't want to get on camera too much. I love you. You guys, you know I homeschool, right? So that was fun coming in. Okay, now is this... Okay. So I'm like, well, is Ken a hypocrite, a moral pretender, a vindictive manipulator, a cognitive dissident, or a false moralist? I'm not sure. I feel like she's high-key a hypocrite now that we just saw the tape of her have her own gun. What do you guys think? Is that hypocritical? Because she brandished a weapon at Phaedra and threatened Phaedra? Is she the only one on cast that needs to be allowed assurances? I don't think so. Is she a moral pretender? Because she's trying to be morally superior. Oh my God, I can brandish a gun, but if Brit talks about it, then I need protection. Sounds like she might be a vindictive manipulator because she just did that shit, but it's not okay for Brit to. Yeah. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts about all this? All I know is that actions truly do speak louder than words, in my opinion. And so that is all for that. Let's see. Let me get at these comments, and then we're going to get into this proof right here. Okay. Okay, Bonita Howard. I think that's the last place I left off. Yes, Happy New Year. Yes, Europeans started April Fool's Day because Black and Brown did not accept the Georgian calendar, and January 1st is a pagan. Oh my God, Satra, I love freaking information like that. The original Hebrew Israelites, Happy New Year. Exactly. The real Jews. How about we call it the real Jews, okay? Hebrew Israelites. I'm in Georgia. I think Georgia is now open, Carrie. That's what I'm saying. So why is freaking Ken acting so scared, right? Amir, you are right to do not poke the bear. Exactly. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Tap the screen. It don't mean a thing. It's either the 3 dots or you double tap. Brit and Kelly are friends. I think they decided that Kelly will go for Portia. Ooh, my gosh, Satra, this is very insightful. And Kenya will go, Brit will go after Kenya. Kelly kept it cute. Kenya would not entertain Brit. I do not know why Brit was so mad. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she feels peasantry. Maybe she feels like a peasant, so hearing that word triggered her, you know. But still, it was just a lot of hot air. Could the man, my argument is, could the man, the eggplant, yes, both can sue. Yes, we talked about that yesterday. She has to have explicit permission from the people depicted in the image for it to not be considered revenge porn. Or it needs to be out for public consumption. And if you Google, is Brittany Eady an adult porn star, you get no. She is not an adult porn star, never has been. Therefore, any images of her engaged in sex acts, while she may have consented to it in the moment with that person, for that person or anyone else to show it to anyone else without her explicit permission, it becomes revenge porn. Period. So if the man with the veiny eggplant wants to be like, you showed my veins all over, bitch, then he can sue her also. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The people depicted have to give their permission for that particular viewing, let's say. So they could have said, oh yeah, we can show it at Large's house. But then if you get over to, another person's house and show it also, then it becomes revenge porn, because she only said I could show it at Large's house. So that is crazy. I don't know that he consented to it. Somebody, because even Angela Yee, we heard her just try to say, oh, well, the images existed. They were already out. Well, but where were they? Where were they? Already out where? Because nobody else can just find them. So that means she had gotten them from someplace. They aren't out for public use. You can't just Google the shit. You can't even find it on the dark web, or else it'd be all over the place already. That weirdo Brit had a thing going for Kenya from the moment they first met. Very odd, very thirsty. She wanted Kenya so bad to like her. Uncomfortable to watch. Hey, Nylon, did you see the video of... that's acceptable. I'm not gonna... You're right. They come on hot and heavy, especially these noobs. They go for the ankles of the big dogs. And it was a lot. I felt like what was way too much to watch was NECA on Real Housewives of Potomac. I feel like that was way too much. I don't feel like even this little dinner of her trying to be like, you're going to talk to me. And that was only one little episode. We had like 12 episodes of NECA over there acting a stone cold fool. So this is just one. I don't know if it's going to get worse. But if Ken's off the screen, she's not even going to have to interact with her for the rest of the season. So I don't see that we're going to have to get this display from Brit anymore, at least towards Ken. But yeah, that was high-key weird. For Kenya to think it's fair for her to threaten them with a pow but not anyone else is narcissistic. Mamere, I saw your other comment. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I'm sorry about that, darling. I'm sorry about that. I love you. Sending you cyber hugs. Right on. So that's all I got to say about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're only going to be in here for about 9 more minutes. We're going to finish up with Married to Medicine, because that reunion was so lit. I haven't done my review yet for it. I'll probably do it tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow. Yeah, I agree. My argument says, just think, Brooklyn won't have any friends with the way Ken acts. Hey, I didn't see a lot of kids at her Little Mermaid birthday party. It was like 5 little kids there. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. That's a lot. So on Married to Medicine this weekend, we saw Dr. Heavenly we saw Dr. Heavenly and Contessa go back and forth. And Contessa was talking about how miserable Dr. Damon must be, and at least that's what we heard her say. And then Dr. Heavenly was like, "Don't talk about me and my man. Your breasts are looking way botched over there. Don't talk about me." And yay, I love cyber hugs. Ugh, you're squeezing me so tight, my man. Wait, my neck, I can't breathe. My neck. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, you're cracking my back. Oh, I love you too. Oh. That was such a good one, my man. Oh, that was a good hug. I be hugging myself, you guys. It feels good. It might not have a heart in front of my heart, but the act of hugging yourself, you literally is still, when you finish your embrace, you should feel tingly. Especially if you squeeze hard. Tell me if you do right now. Please indulge yourself. Take a minute, if your hands can be free, and just squeeze yourself really hard and act like you're hugging yourself and say, I love you. And then let go. And then tell me, don't you feel like a little burst after that? I do. Anyway, I'm a lunatic. But let's listen, because of course Contessa was going to make a response video to what Dr. Heavenly said. And then we're going to hear what Dr. Heavenly said is the truth behind the surgery for Contessa. Because yesterday I did say I thought it was wrong what Dr. Heavenly said, because if Contessa had cancer, that's like wrong to talk about her reconstructive surgery. However, I did forget that she didn't really have cancer, you guys. She got her double mastectomy because she didn't want to get cancer, but she did not ever have cancer. She didn't want to get cancer. And so she did that radical thing like Angelina Jolie, where you get your boobs chopped off and implants put in so you don't have the tissue for the cancer to grow in. Thereby, you won't be getting it. So that's what she did. It was a very proactive step in her health. And it was her choice to have this mastectomy the way that she had it. And it was her choice to have what was done to her, but she at no time had cancer. Okay? So, but her mom, I think, did have cancer. And so, but she never had it. So let's listen at this, and then we'll listen at some other things.
To tell you, I don't have any breast. I know people have said so many crazy things, but for anyone who's had what I had, which was a bilateral mastectomy, I've had all of my breast tissue removed. And so what you see beneath my skin is implants. And I'll tell you, I'll take implants upside, downside, turn in, out. I don't care if they are asymmetrical, but I take that over breast cancer any day of the week, because I want to be here to raise my children. But if someone would like to insult what they see, feel free. Argue amongst yourself. Low-hanging fruit. I understand it. But just understand that, use the right term. It's just cleavage. That's what you're looking at. Because I don't have any breast tissue anymore. It was removed.
I don't know.
God bless you. To send a quick little message to you guys to tell you, I don't have any breast. I know people have said so many crazy things, but for anyone who's had what I had, which was a bilateral mastectomy, I've had all of my breast tissue removed. And so what you see beneath my skin is implants. And I'll tell you, I'll take implants upside, downside, turn in, out. I don't care if they are asymmetrical, but I take that over breast cancer any day of the week, because I want to be here to raise my children.
So there you have it clearly. She doesn't have cancer, didn't have cancer, chose to get those removed, chose to get the implants put in. And that's what Dr. Heavenly was commenting on. Now, we're going to listen to this.
Contessa kept throwing shots at me. Contessa kept saying stuff about my dress. She kept saying stuff about different things. So I heard them over there, but I couldn't hear them. But one thing I did hear them say, because they snickling over there and they talking under their breath and shit, okay? That's a Phaedra move. They got it from her. Talking under their breath. But I did hear Contessa call me Professor Clump or Best Fuchsia or some shit. What's Professor Clump? name, I think it was Respucia or some shit. She kept saying some shit about me or whatever, and she was over there, they was cackling her and sweet tea. So I turned around and I said, and honestly, I ain't thinking about no breast cancer because the bitch didn't have breast cancer. She didn't. She did a prophylactic, which she might have never had it, okay? My whole thing is, if you're gonna talk about my appearance, I can talk about yours. I wasn't thinking about no breast. I wasn't thinking about none of that, because she ain't never had it. Okay? So now she gonna start crying, probably making a big thing, you know what I mean? But anyway, Contessa kept throwing shots at me. Contessa kept saying stuff about my dress. She kept saying stuff about different things. So I heard them over there, but I couldn't hear them. But one thing I did hear them say, because they snickling over there and they talking under their breath and shit, okay? That's a Phaedra move. They got it from her. Talking under their breath. But I did hear Contessa call me Professor Clump or Best Fuchsia or some shit. What's Professor Clump?
Okay, so that's the reason why Dr. Heavenly decided to comment on her appearance, was because she was commenting on her appearance. So that was like for like. You talk shit about me, I'm using words, I'm talking shit about you, we talking about appearances. Okay, Respucia's fat and your tits look whack. So, okay. I appreciated that insight.
He seemed like a miserable person to be with. I hope he has some joy.
Your titties way over here. Please don't talk about me when you got botched surgery.
And when that happened, I was like, it just felt so out of context, didn't you guys? Wait a minute. When she said that at the reunion, were you like me? And we were like, why did she say that? Like, I was like, what the fuck? I needed context, because it just seemed so out of the blue. And she was like, your boobs are this. And I was, what? Where did that come from? Your husband's miserable. Your boobs are like this, because we didn't hear the Rasputia comment. And another thing about damn Contessa, I will say that Contessa seems like she'll drive a bitch crazy. She will drive a bitch crazy. She be saying all kind of shit under her breath, saying all kind of wrong shit, but she says it like this with a smile and so calm, so you look like you're the only one crazy. And nobody heard the shit that she said, so she can deny it later. Man, you're all reacting. Look at your titties, bitch. Look at your cleavage is fucked up. You're botched. But nobody heard Rasputia. Nobody heard it. Okay.
He seemed like a miserable person to be with. I hope he has some joy.
Your titties way over here. Please don't talk about me when you got it.
See, so she said, please don't talk about me when you got. And I was like wondering, what the fuck was she talking about when she said that? So that was interesting. Squidwards. Brittany's nose look like Squidwards. Zaleen Turner's in the house. Thank you for coming through. Oh, wow. So Mamir, you did the hug. And it does give you warm fuzzies, right? Like a little like dopamine rush. I love it. I swear by it. I do that. I do smile therapy. I told you guys, I choose happy. I choose to engage my dopamine and serotonin. I choose. I've been looking for little releasers all day. Okay. My argument believes that Heavenly is just plain nasty. I think Heavenly gets carried away in arguments and says things she doesn't mean. I'm sure in real life, Heavenly has much more compassion and empathy. But on the show, she's in character for sure, for sure. Celine, I love you. Thanks for coming through. Lola Duncan, thanks for coming through. Yeah, is that Squidward what she looking like? I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Okay, let's see. I have another video, and then we're going to be out of here. So that was just for context, because I know people are like dragging Dr. Heavenly right now. But I need, oh no, where's my other video? I have another video. Is it the Neighborhood Talk? I think it's the Neighborhood Talk has it. Let's go look. Because remember on Married to Medicine, when Dr. Damon was going back and forth with Dr. Damon was going back and forth with where'd it go? They don't have it. Dr. Damon was going back and forth with Dr. G. and saying about how the patients, he stopped seeing the patients because of what Dr. Heavenly said. And Dr. G was like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't stop seeing the patients because of what Dr. Heavenly said. Your patients are just too high maintenance. Remember that lie? Well, and Dr. Damon was like, you're lying. You're lying. And Dr. Damon was like,
You got
no.
in your feelings and you said, I'm not even seeing your patients anymore. That's childish.
No,
That's
more.
exactly what happened.
Okay, well, I guess you know exactly what happened.
Well, am I wrong?
You are very wrong. Like,
Oh, no, I'm right.
I stopped seeing those patients you're referring me because they were high maintenance patients and that they
I
had
don't think so.
addiction.
Because it
Well,
happened
then
right
you
when
see
this thing happened. You're lying. Because you can't stand up as a man and just say when you're wrong. If you're doing something out of spite, just say it. Don't hide behind, they were
But see,
too
that's
hard
my
for
whole
me.
problem. You don't know anything
You were
about my
taking it for
practice
years,
over there,
and all of a
Damon.
sudden it
Why
got
would I not see
complicated.
patients out of spite? I'm
'Cause
above
that's
that,
you.
sir.
He's such a
Oh,
bitch. Oh my God. That is a Now you gotta say that's a bitch move there. That man needs to go. He has to go. Baby, your man disrespected himself.
Listen, be quiet. Can I be like?
I'm sorry,
You
but it's the truth,
listen.
teacher, and you gotta be able to receive it.
No, you just need to be quiet.
I don't, teacher.
Okay,
Got mad, and you got in your feelings, and you said,
be quiet.
I don't, teacher.
Okay,
I think that's the problem in your household. Nobody is speaking, except for him.
If you suddenly stop seeing referrals when you're in the midst of a disagreement, one could make that assumption.
1 + 1 = 2. It's the truth.
See, the type of patient that he was referring me took a whole lot more energy and took a whole lot more resources. It really did.
Well, what is the standard given your relationship? If you weren't in this situation, would you have hit him up and said, hey man, like, thanks for the referrals, but like, I don't have the bandwidth for these
Absolutely
patients? I mean, would
That's
that be
exactly what I told him.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Damn, really?
No, yeah,
I didn't
really.
tell you. I didn't tell you
Greg,
I wasn't seeing your
Greg, I don't sit up and tell lies.
be quiet.
I don't.
And to prove he doesn't, yesterday Dr. Heavenly went live. You guys need to go over there and smash her buttons and ring her bell because that's the only place you're going to get a truth. You're not getting the truth from Sweet and Sour. You're not getting the truth from fucking Dr. Greg. You're not getting it. You're not going to get the truth from Dr. Simone, Dr. Pancakes, aka Dr. Rabbit. You're not going to get the truth from Dr. Bunny. You're not going to get it. You're only going to get the truth from and proof with receipts, with chits. You guys know what chits are. That's what we used to call receipts back in the day. CHITS, like the shits. Yeah, show me the chits. So she came with the chits, you guys. Came with the chits for the shits. This is a text thread between, and I actually have it my damn self. I didn't have to use the Bravo Shade Rooms, but I also have it in my freaking picture bucket too. But we don't have to. We'll go ahead with the Shade Room. So this says, it's from Dr. Gregory Lunsford. Can I make it big? It has his picture. And you know how you know it's true is because in your phone, if you have an iPhone and they have an iPhone, when they update their picture, then you get an opportunity to update your contacts. So this is a real thing. Okay? February 28th, 2024. Almost a year ago to the day. Greg tells Dr. Damon, because this is Damon's phone, the blue shows whose phone it is. The other color shows who sent them the message. This means that this is the receiver. So at 6:21 p.m., Dr. G said, I just saw your wife's post. It was very bizarre and malicious at the same time. I am not going to be seeing any more of your patients going forward. You guys can read. What's that say? What did Dr. G say? His words just said he didn't say this, but this is what he said. He just said that it's because they're too high maintenance. He just said it was wah, 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 blah, blah, blah. But what he was stupid enough and put in writing was that he doesn't know how to spell patience, but he sees them. but he doesn't have any of this kind of patience with any women. He doesn't have this kind of patience with any women, but he's not going to be seeing Damon's patience going forward. To which he said, I don't know about any posts. That's your decision. Dr. Heavenly apologized for calling Dr. G the P word. If you lie on me, I will tell the truth on your man.
This makes this man hundreds of thousands of dollars, really. You know what I'm saying? The man looked at the tweet. He saw it, his wife showed, but evidently he didn't see the tweet. His wife had been tweeting me. That's what the problem is. He didn't see that. He texted Damon, said, man, I saw your tweet, your wife's tweet. Have you seen your wife's tweet? It was malicious. It was bizarre. Some shit he said like that. And he said, based on that fact, I'm going to have to stop seeing your patients. I'm going to stop seeing your patients. Right? Black point blank period. So if he said anything differently, that's a brother tucking lie. Do we have any receipts, Stephanie? Do we have any receipts? I just want to know if we got them. Because my whole thing is my man that we sitting up here lying. My man ain't just cheating, running his dick. Come on, y'all act like he Miss Lucy. Y'all been trying to tear this man down since the beginning of the time. You know why? Because of this. I had to do it. Read it.
So she had to pull out the receipts and protect their integrity, which is interesting. So this lends itself to the reason that Dr. G would have been laughing like a fucking weirdo. It was so weird when Dr. Damon was like, yeah, I value integrity. And then Dr. G's face did this like weird pause. Like he almost looked like he was about to stroke out. He did like this weird pause and then started laughing maniacally. Because he knows he's a fucking liar. He's a liar. This proves that everything he said was a freaking lie.
Prove it. Don't sit up there and say, man, I never did that. That's why I lose respect for people, because already you're talking to your wife crazy. We already know what you did to Quad. We already know. That's why King don't like you. That's why Damon don't respect you. That's what it is. Prove it. Don't sit up there and say, man, I never did that.
Be quiet.
I don't.
That Matt. And you got in your feelings and you said, I'm not going to see your patients anymore. That's childish.
No,
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, well, I guess you know exactly what happened.
Well, am I wrong?
You are very wrong. Like, I stopped seeing those patients you're referring me because they were high maintenance patients and that they had
I don't think so.
addiction.
Because it happened right when this thing happened. You're lying. Because you can't stand up as a man and just say when you're wrong. If you're doing something out of spite, just say it.
And a lot of people were very upset with Dr. Damon. They were like, oh, Dr. Damon is the kind of man that just wants to make people agree with him until they agree. Well, of course, if you're fucking lying on me, then you need to agree to the truth, bitch. You're not just going to sit up here and act like me and my wife are the problem when you're actively disengaging from patients, even if it's spelled the wrong way, because your panties are in a wad and your wife starts shit that her ass can't cash. You need to go in the room and wipe your baby's ass. That's what you need to go tend to your baby and stay out of grown folks' stuff, Dr. Girl. Okay? Let's get at some of these comments. Her biddies look like Squidward's nose. Oh, her biddies. Oh, you're right. I get it now. I'm going to have to catch the replay. Okay, Zelene, I appreciate that. Does Dr. Heavenly's hubby really have a baby with another woman? Absolutely not. The conversation is between Dr. G and Damon. In my opinion, yep, it should have stayed there. It's disturbing that abused women who go to therapy to heal can end up with a psychiatrist who's an abuser. Does he gaslight them and make them feel like it's their fault? Terrifying thought. Well, we saw that. Remember when they got back from the sandbar? Because they left early from the sandbar in episode 10 of Married to Medicine. They is in Dr. G and Sweet and Sour. They left early. And they were sitting at the kitchen table. And he was blaming her and blaming Quad and blaming the fractured nose he got from the patient that he was seeing. Okay? It was everybody else's fault. Everybody else's fault. And then she's like, don't talk to me like that. And he said, you're making me talk to you like this. Remember? Everything was her fault. Yep, got caught in it. Dr. G spelled patience wrong. I hope this opened Sweet T's eyes. I don't think he should be called a pedo. That would upset me too. Yeah, and Dr. Heavenly explained that. So you know how in Kendrick Lamar's song, he's like, he's he calls Kendrick Lamar that. So she's saying that that's what it was from. Like, she thought it was a cool vernacular word to be using to call somebody an op or whatever. Like, so if Drake can be a pedo, then surely Dr. G can be a pedo. But you're right. That is a harmful thing to say if you're not really a pedo. And if that's the case, then yeah. But also, if Greg really felt damage from it, instead of just stopping seeing patients, he could have done something else, but he chose not to. His wife is creating some kind of document trail, but he chose not to engage. I'm not sure why he chose not to engage, but disengage from patients. Hey, he could have done whatever he wanted. But I just wanted to give you guys the proof that he's a fucking liar, and so is his woman. It is an awful accusation. And all she did was put a hashtag. She put, and it's just like with Brit Edie. Brit Edie didn't say, Ken, I got a pow pow in my purse for bitches like you. I got a whips and chains for bitches like you, Kenya. More. I'm going to get you, Kenya. More. She didn't say that. Okay? And similarly, what was the post, the pedo post? Where's the pedo post? Let's see if we can get an image. Dr. G is not respected in the community. Okay, so here's the comment that started it all. So everybody keeps looking over. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, folks. When you're talking about what Sweet Tea did, you looking over all that shit. Sweet Tea said Dr. Heavenly's mom, dead mother, was in hell. But when Dr. Heavenly answers her back, it's a problem. Okay, you just overlooked that. Sweet and Sour was the one who came for Dr. Heavenly's businesses multiple times on multiple platforms. Okay? She started this shit. And not even Andy addressed that shit. Everybody's just turning and looking at my friend Dr. Heavenly. And I'm like, you guys need to turn back the other way from whence it came. It was Sweet and Sour. The one who can dish it but not take it. Little girl. She started the shit. She started the tit. Sweet Tea started it. On 2/24 at 7:42 p.m. Sweet Tea says it was tacky and ghetto to announce that at the Med Gala. This is why she isn't respected in the medical community. I had secondhand embarrassment from Dennis the Menace. Get your Dr. Heavenly merch. She has Dennis the Menace shirts available for you. Okay? Sweet Tea started it. That was on the 24th of February. Sweet Tea started it. People were like, how does Sweet Tea know Dr. Heavenly isn't respected in the medical community when you just got there? Mind you, Sweet Tea did attend Dr. Heavenly University, so you must have some respect. Then Dr. Heavenly says Dr. G's not respected in the medical community. And that's real talk. Abuser, controlling, pedophile, teen daddy, married to med. And that's another thing. Like, I'm not sure. See how there's a period behind pedophile? I'm not sure if that even meant to be there. Because none of the other hashtags have a period. You see that? You see that? So it could have even been an accident, but, and she didn't even, is that how you spell it? I thought it was pedo. And she didn't even really spell it right. Did she? I don't know how to spell that shit. That's not a word I need in my repertoire. But it was in reaction to her saying this. This gets overlooked. Yeah, it is spelled wrong. That's what I'm saying. So it's spelled wrong and has a period. So I'm like, I don't know if it could have even been a typo, but she admitted that it was a mistake. She shouldn't have never put it there, that she was thinking Kendrick Lamar. Up, 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 up. I'm a fucking up. What? Gotta do my stuff. It's probably a minor. They not like us. They not like us. She said she got it from that whole thing. And that song was hot in February 2024. It was still getting played like 1,000 million times a day because the song had just dropped, right? Probably a minor. And he has a minor practically with this little girl of a new wife. So there's a lot of ways you could justify it. The bottom line is, if it's not true, it's wrong. She apologized for it. Sweet Tea never apologized for this. Sweet Tea only demands authentic apologies and never has to give one. What the fuck? The only way children learn is if you make them. They need to make this little girl start apologizing and being held accountable for her actions. She starts all kind of shit. And then gets grown men caught up in some bullshit.
Oh, they were too
That's
hard
my
for
whole
you.
problem. You don't know anything
You were
about my
taking it for
practice
years,
over
and all of a sudden it
Why
got
would I not see
complicated.
patients out of spite? I'm
Because
above
that's
that,
you.
sir.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my God. That is a
And that's why Dr. Heavenly knows he's a bitch and knows his wife is a bitch. Bitch moves made my bitch ass men and bitch women. Don't send a fucking text saying why you're doing it and then get to the reunion and try to make my husband the only fool up here with integrity. Try to make him out to be like you, a liar. Zelene said, but I would still see the patients and let him know I didn't appreciate it, right? He doesn't even, Dr. Damon doesn't even get paid from referring him. He was literally just giving the man business like he called and begged him for when he first opened. There's evidence that Drake was grooming children, but calling Dr. G is way out of left field. I don't like the man at all, but irresponsible choice of words. Yeah, well, she already acknowledged it. And see, that's the thing too. Like, she already acknowledged it. To me, there's like, at least she acknowledged it. Let's move on. These other motherfuckers don't acknowledge shit they do and still want Dr. Heavenly to again acknowledge that what she said is wrong. Again apologize that what she said is wrong. Again acknowledge that what she did was wrong. She already did it. She already said it. So why does it have to be a continuous thing? It doesn't. I'm telling her she should never fucking apologize again. Fuck it. You're the only one doing it. Oh, Dr. Heavenly didn't like being called Dennis the Menace, but she sure is selling t-shirts for $40 a pop and getting paid off of it. Heavenly, in my opinion, Heavenly number that, the hashtag, because Dr. G is older than her parents. Exactly. It's wrong, but you understood what she was saying. That's true, Lola Duncan. And a lot of people have said that also because he is in this seasonal relationship with this woman who's so much younger than him that he's robbing the cradle, and people say that robbing the cradle means you have a baby wife, a child bride, right? So it was a play on words. It was a horrible play on words, though. We will stay there. I'm worried that Heavenly could be sued by Dr. G for defamation. It could impact his practice, and if he can prove it, he has grounds at least in Canada he would. Um, yeah, if he was going to do it, he should have done it before he got on television and lied about why he wasn't seeing patients, because it seems like he already got his get back. So, and it would actually be hard to prove if it impacted his business if he was willing. Glad you brought this up, because he needs to prove like it impacted him financially somehow, right? I would say what impacted him more financially is his choice to no further take referrals that could have gave his business money. That was his choice to disengage from patient care. So if there was a decrease in finances around the same time of February, if I was their lawyer, and hopefully their lawyers see this shit, I would argue that that wasn't so much caused by what my client said, but by his choice to disengage from patients that could be sent to him as referrals so that he could then get paid. If he's choosing to disengage, then he brought the financial ruin on himself. That has nothing to do with my client's words. And it was speculation. Speculation is protected. She didn't say it repeatedly. She said it one time and immediately removed it. So that would give credence to any defamation suit to be thrown out because it was one time, immediately retracted, apologized profusely, and so there was no malicious intent, or else she would have left it up there and said it again and again and again and again. So I hope there's a lawyer watching if she does end up on the suit, because I think Sweet and Sour is actually feeling like she's at a regular 9-to-5 job and wants to try to pull a Nene Leakes and get people, specifically Dr. Heavenly, caught up. She's creating a dossier for sure. And she thinks that creating this paper trail is going to help her. But I hope her paper trail includes that she starts the shit. She's going to need to have this in the paper trail. Because if she doesn't, again, whatever lawyer is entertaining her, come on over here. We have papers for you. She started it. She started it. She started it. Saying someone isn't respected in their community is not equal to saying someone is a threat to children. Sweet Tea is 30, and that ain't a young girl. I was married with 3 kids by 30. Yeah, but you weren't married to a 68-year-old or however much older he is than her. I hope. I don't know, unless it's your preference, you know? And it's just like the, at least both are words. It's kind of like different than what's going on with,
That's a bitch move there. That man needs to go.
Nah,
He has to go. Baby, your man disrespecting himself.
Listen, be quiet. Can I be like
I'm sorry.
It's a little different than what we were dealing with with this situation, because one is illegal action and one was a threat of words. But the bottom line is, to me, they all use words. They all say way offhand stuff. Oh, let's ask ChatGPT, because people really are on it. Let me see. Is it illegal to hashtag that someone, to hashtag pedophile in a post? So we're asking ChatGPT, is it illegal to hashtag pedophile? They're not illegal on its own. However, context matters. It could become legally problematic if you falsely accuse. It could be considered defamation. In Georgia and other states, defamation laws allow for the accused person to sue for damages if the statement is false and harms their reputation. Number 2, harassment or doxing. If the hashtag is used in a targeted attack repeatedly, that's the key. That's what I'm saying. Repeatedly tagging people. Okay? It was one time and immediately dismissed. This is good that we're bringing this up because people want people held accountable. They want Dr. Heavenly held accountable. They want Garcelle held, they have sued for defamation. They want Dr. Heavenly sued for defamation, but there has to be malicious intent and repeated violations with proven harm, okay? So if the hashtag is used in a targeted attack, it could violate stalking or harassment, but it's repeated. Incitement of violence. If the post encourages violence or vigilism, it did not. Child exploitation. If the post in any way contains or promotes illegal contact. The bottom line is using the hashtag pedophile is not inherently illegal. But if it falsely accuses, harasses, incites, then it could lead to legal consequences. If the claim is true based on public information, someone is convicted, it's less risk, but the caution is to avoid using defamation or harassment claims. I'm glad you brought that up because it's not in its of itself. So I don't know, in Canada, using a hashtag one time, is that defamation? That's why I said Dr. G can prove heavenly application. Yeah, and I'm saying, and I'm agreeing with you because he would have to prove that him not taking patients wasn't the cause of any impact on his practice also. I don't believe that. And simultaneously too, though, wait, there's two things happening. So if he could prove, Mamere, that it had an impact on his business, as the lawyer for Dr. Heavenly, which I'm not, I'm just playing one in my head. As a lawyer for Dr. Heavenly, I would argue that did this impact his practice, or did the revelation that Quad's claims of abuse were valid and that he's an abuser impacted his business? So if he's going to open up a defamation something, then he's going to need to be prepared to have all evidence entered, which would include his own actions on and off screen over all of the seasons on this show. So what had further impact? Everybody pulling back up season 6 one-on-one, where he admitted to pulling Quad around the floor and suffocating her and then saying we did things to each other. That's abusive. You just admitted to abuse, bruh. Or poking her with the 2x word, although we didn't see that till this year. We would have to see what happened February 24th to the time that Dr. Heavenly took down the post. That should be the window, right? Which was immediate. So I don't think he suffered at all. I don't think. Zelene, they're not filing a lawsuit that we know of, but Sweet and Sour has said at least 5 times that she's creating the she's getting documents. She has a paper trail. She's using words that you use when you want to sue somebody. That's another reason why this bitch needs to be gone. Nobody needs a lawsuit on these shows. They don't need a lawsuit on these shows. Now, when Candace was suing Monique for touching her when you're on a show to talk, that was a valid lawsuit. But Ashley's Forehead Full of Lies got the videos thrown out, and so she wrote a letter. Anyway, yeah. I hope not. But Dr. G is the type to resort to litigation. It seems like he would be. But again, her immediately removing it means that she takes off her responsibility for it. If she would have left it up, said it repeatedly, put it under additional posts or something, I think it might have been more damaging for Dr. Heavenly's side. But just this one time, post and delete, That's not an issue. And nobody else even picked it up. I haven't seen a bevy of pedophile hashtags under Dr. G posts. I do see abuser. And he did that to himself. In Canada, you can get charged with hate speech if you use someone's wrong pronoun. That's too fucking far. What happened? You guys don't have freedom of speech in Canada? We don't really have it here either. Anyway, you guys, I just was coming in here for some time. I hope you guys are having an excellent Tuesday. I hope you guys found this fun. Remember, there's enough to go around, so go get some. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in or out, and ring my bell. Ring my bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video, or so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing in the YouTube streets. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through. It was great hanging out with you too. My argument is my mares, Zaleen, Bonita, Lola. Who else came to play? I think those are the only people in the chat today. Anyway, you guys, I appreciate it. Go out and make it a great day. Satra was here. Nylon was here. My argument is everybody. Yeah, that's it though. Yes, thanks for coming through. Make it the day you deserve. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of power, okay? You can have it. You can do it. You can be it. You deserve it. You're valuable. You're worth it. You're worthy, okay? So go get some. I love you guys. Peace.